Hello guys, this is Walt from Mel and Walt's, working our way back to the Philippines. I've got a little job back here I'm doing on a Danby portable air conditioner that I thought I would share with you. The fan, exhaust fan went out. And I'll show you how I fixed it. Well, I haven't really fixed it yet. This is the old one. And you can see it's missing some teeth there. Something fell down inside. And I'll know when I finish taking it apart what. Now this is actually the back. And I apologize, I'm not a fantastic video doer here. And there's the back panel over there. Pretty simple. If you take the filter out, there's a, which would go in here, because there's a hidden screw on the top, then on the bottom and in the middle are some recessed screws. So the back is fairly simple. When I got that off, I thought, oh, pretty clear sailing here. This is not going to be hard. But then I got a little more into it. Now, this is the side, of course, where the fan mounts. But we'll come back to that in a second. This is the front. A little hard to see. Like I said, I'm not a professional at this, but that's the front. And you can see what's in there. This is the front cover. And this is kind of important here. You need to know this. Most of the screws are very easy to get off, but then you're going to run into these little devils right up here, which when you feel down, you're going to think, oh, that's not good, because the way they made the holes, you would think it ran horizontal, or vertically, I'm sorry, but they don't. They run horizontal. So there's a flap that comes up here on the top. If you've been working on it, you're probably aware of that, which would be this right here. And it took me a little while to figure out how to get this off, but it's pretty simple. You have to kind of force it off. You get those little in the side there, but that's really it's not relative, because you don't have to do that, because you don't have to take it out. Because, like I said, the screws run horizontal, so you can get those out pretty easy. But the thing I really wanted to show you, that was the tricky things. I wanted to show you that you can screw those out without any problem. But then you run into this little baby. This is really something they did to make it where maybe you can't do it by yourself. You need a mechanic. You need one of their people to do it, because if you look underneath here, I can get it under there. Now let's do it from the top. Right there you'll see where the screw used to be, and if you try to take that cover off, you got pretty simple here. You got screws that are very visible, like one there, one over there, one there, one there. You'll be able to see all those. That's not a problem. But then you're going to sit there and start saying, how the heck, I took the screws out, why ain't this thing coming off? But then, right about down in here, under this fan, there's a screw. Well, you can see you're not going to be able to get to that unless you take this whole top off. And that's quite a job, because you have to start by taking the upper fan and blade off to get to that. So when you start doing that, then you have to remove your evaporators and condensers and all that stuff, and it just makes it into a lot of work. So what I did is I got a little saying, okay, let's see what I'm going to do to fix this. And right under there, you can see where there used to be a screw put in to that hole right there. And what I did is just went ahead and broke it off, because I wasn't going to take apart all this. There's no way. But I took my time. I made sure that I wasn't going to ruin anything, that everything would still be able to put it back together and it'd still be an operating unit. So hopefully this will help you. Also, by the way, they made the bottom where everything fits in slots. So hence, if you're going to break that screw off, like you break that thing out of there like I did, you have to tilt it over almost on its side, towards its side. Let's see if I can get a better shot of that. Like I said, we're getting new at this. But anyway, it's tilted over to the side and it's out of their slots. So pop it out of its slots, pull the bottom out, break the screw off, and you're ready to go, guys. Then you can get to your little fan here, and that's all you got left to do is pull that little nut out of there, slide it off, put your new one on, and have fun putting it back together, which is going to be fun. Promise me. Promise you. Not promise me. But hello, welcome to Mel Walt back to the Philippines. I'm starting back with this project that I started. So this is going to be part 2 of the Danby 10,000 BTU air conditioner repair. And what we're replacing, of course, was the fan. And I started part 2 because I thought I was going to put it back together and that'd be the end. But there's some things that always come up that you got to talk about. So I thought I'd go ahead and make part 2. The problem I'm running into now, the new fan. Well, actually it started with the old fan. I had to pull it off using a wheel puller because it's pressed on. So it was very difficult to get off. But I'm putting a new one on. Of course, that's very difficult to get on. So what I'm going to do is, since I don't have a way to really press it, I don't have a torch to heat it, and that would be the best way to do it, but we got to do what we got to do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and find a bit that's perfect size to go through that and take off the rough edge. I wish I could show you this and where you could see it. If you look in there, you can see where it's tried to go down, putting the shaft in, and it couldn't because it's running into slicing the metal off. But that's okay. We're going to take care of that, and then I'll get back with you. Okay, what I've done is coming back here, I took down the right bit that would fit through the old one, slide in and out, but still scratch the sides. So the one I used to drill out the new one. And you can see the new one is mounted now. If I can get this camera in the right direction. It's mounted and ready to go. So what I'm going to do is I'll let this run for a little while I see if I can work this back in, and maybe you can get a glimpse of what I was talking about, of everything fitting in the slots really tight. So we'll go from there. These wires here, I guess. Get it. Things out of wheels too, so it doesn't make it any easier. Pretty good. Straighten it back out a little bit. And let's see if I can pick this tripod up and take a few pictures of it. It's kind of hard looking at this backwards. Let's turn it around. Okay, what we're going to do is I'm going to let you guys rest a while I do some work and get these screws back in, and then we'll probably go around and look at where the screws are that I've put back in again. See, there's the slot. That's the tricky little thing there, because if you don't, like we talked in the other video, if you don't break the screw that's mounted down here, you're going to have to take this whole upper part apart just to get to that one screw, and that's wouldn't be fun. But you can see I got the fan back in. It's got the new blade on it, and now it's time to put this puppy back together again. So I'm going to try and make sure you get all the information you need on how to do it, so you can get yours back together. And then when we get it all assembled, we'll go over some other things to make sure that you are working on the same product. But there's the item number. It was bought at Sears, or Home Depot, Lowe's, where I worked for like 10 years, and that's the model number on it. But I'm going to go ahead and not bore you with putting all the screws back, because That's one reason I really am making this video. The ones that were on were very bad. If you're going to watch the whole thing, it would take you an hour. So I'm making a little short part 1 and part 2. You might have got enough from part 1 that you need, but if you didn't, here's part 2. What I did is I put the fan in, finished doing that, and dropped it down in its ever famous slot, and put the screws back in, which is basically one up there and 2 down here and another one hiding back there, and these covers back on the electrical. And I tucked all the electrical wire in because I'm getting ready to put the front cover back on. And hopefully we'll get to a point here where we're testing this thing out. But like I said, this side should be finished. What you may want to do is, like I did, just kind of look in here and make sure your fan is free rolling, not doing any scraping or anything like that, which that one is very freely rolling, which is nice. So that's where we're at now, and I'll come back and get you when I have something else you need to see. Okay, I'm coming back because I want to show you something else that was kind of a difficult thing to find. And what it is you've got this vent that goes on the top, which raises up and down for your airflow. Don't mind the beer, it's a beer friendly shop. And this is where your air comes out. But getting it off is a little difficult. I need to clean that up. As you see, there's a pin right there, and there's a pin right there. So if you do want to take this off, which I don't think is necessary, I'll go up here and show you this. If you do want to take it off, the hole is right there, and the other one is right there. You can't see it if you're working on it. You can't really see the holes are there. Another holes you can't see are these right here. This is the front. When you go to pull it off and can't figure out what's holding it, these 2 screws are holding the front, which I think you can get to those without having to take the piece I just showed you off. I'm going to try to put that on, and then later in the video I'll let you know if you have to take them off or you don't have to take them off. You don't take that air circulator off or not. And that's where I'm at right now. I don't have much to finish, hopefully, because my front is on. My screws are mounted. You want to kind of try to see where the screws are. It's kind of dark. There we go, just the light. You got some screws in the back that are pretty easy to find, not something difficult. These covers on the bottom for your electrical are a little bit of a pain, but you can deal with that. So let me finish, and then we'll crank this thing up and see if it runs. Haven't put all the screws in yet, guys, but it's a test drive. Fan is nice and quiet, doing what it's supposed to do. It's blowing very well. Sides are on, not quite finished setting the screws, but all the screws are back in. Well, not all, but most of them. And showing 77 degrees. I'm going to turn off the air conditioner in the shop, see if we get this one to run. But again, there's a name. Danby Premier 3-in-1. And we just saved a little bit of bucks, I think. Like I said, this side, what I'm noticing right here is that the vents, the outside blow vents, getting blown with a lot of air here, which is not really lined up. Screw holes are still under there, but you know, that's minor. That's just minor. I don't think you're going to have a problem doing this, since I gave you some clues of where to find the screws and how to get it apart and back together again. Just remember, you're going to be dealing with the fan, and this is the old fan, which is pressured on. So if you don't have one of these little babies right here, which is a wheel puller, it's going to be very difficult to get off. And it's very difficult to get on. And I drilled it though, and that seems to be working good. So maybe that would be your answer. Hey, it's been fun. I will catch you guys on the rerun. And this is Walt from Walt&Mel's Filipino adventure back on our way to the Philippines. And we'll go over some more jobs that I've done and some more that I'm going to do. But hopefully this helps somebody. I'd appreciate the comments. Please like, share, and subscribe. And be looking forward to hear from you. If you got any questions, I'd love to answer them. Bye-bye.